get the raw deal here.
Hopefully we're good on my end because I can never tell.
Penny's driving me crazy, y'all. Okay.
I always know that I don't care. No, I don't know. I just never mind.
Hi there. Welcome to the Reading Queens podcast. We're here to talk books and more books. And yeah, this whole episode is basically about books. All of our episodes are about books, but this one is specifically about books. If you saw our title, you know why. We'll get into that in a second. I'm Valia. Hi.
I'm Kay.
I'm Tess.
I'm Rose.
Yes, and we are talking about our 5 books we want to read in 2022. So, very book-centric episode. I'm very excited to do this. It's been a while since we've done one of these where we'd really dive into books. So, we're here to do that. But obviously, I'm going to ask you my standard question of how are you doing? It's been a while since we've been on a podcast together. So, tell me all the things.
Well, I've been sick for a long time, and it just so happens that I have a voice today. Not that I lost it completely, but if this was a week ago, it would just be not great. My voice still is just kind of funky, but I can
sound
talk.
Great.
Yeah, you sound really well.
I can make words happen, so yeah, that's all I can ask for.
That's good.
Making words happen, that's always a good thing.
Yeah.
Well, I just got my hair done, so that was very exciting.
Woo.
It doesn't really look that different. Sorry if anyone was expecting that. Every time I get my hair done, I think they're they think it's funny because I'm always just keep it really close to, the way it is now.
Exactly what it is.
Yes, I get my hair done once a year. I'm the worst ever, so...
No, but your hair is so pretty and long, and it's so nice.
That's so nice of you. I know. I feel like it is lower maintenance because I keep it so close to the same all the time. So there's that at least.
I mean, that's fun. Rose, you got anything exciting going on? You're holding your little doggy.
Yeah, you got a dog.
I've got Penny on my lap because she is just crazy right now. I just want her to chill and relax, but she is full of energy, most puppies, but right now especially. And I think it's just because there's a lot of noise in my house. I have a plumber here and there's activity, and so she's just kind of going a little crazy.
It's understandable.
So I'm holding her so she can just chill.
I mean, that works too.
Yeah. Well, so far it's working. I don't know.
Okay, well, so you guys just told us, Tess is sick, so there might be some coughing, and Rose has people over at the house, and Penny's going crazy. So this is going to be a hectic episode. So we're good. It's fine. I'll do some magic and editing, maybe.
Maybe, if you're
I'll
lucky.
think about it.
Or maybe it will just be a non-edited episode. You get the real...
You get the
deal.
raw
Yeah.
Yeah.
You never know. Depending on how tired I am at the end of this, I might just take a nap and then be like, okay, you get what we put together, and that's it.
This is real life. Yeah.
Yeah. Which, anyway, I like those episodes better anyway, so I've been trying to edit as little as possible and just kind of let us be our weird selves. At least I always feel really weird when I don't edit myself, but we're just going with it, so it's fine. Okay. But yeah, let's talk about books because we are here to talk about books. So basically, yes, we're going to talk about our individual, basically 5 book list. I mean, obviously, I have way more books that I want to read this year, but these 5 are kind of at the top of the list. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to go around the room and we're going to just do one book at a time and talk about why we want to read this book, what pulls us towards it, and towards it. That sounds weird to say it, but whatever. So yeah, we're just going to...
All right.
As you can tell, I'm doing great.
Woo. All right.
Yeah, Kay is going to start us off, so
I would just
go for it.
like to start by saying that I made a list of 7 books. So, yeah, already. Except for I have 5.
Come
I
on.
did pare it down. Don't worry.
Oh,
but
okay.
I had to wait until I wrote it down earlier, and I was like, I'm just going to have to decide in the moment which ones I cut out because I just
Nice.
can't decide right now. So I decided.
Perfect.
There we go. Okay, the first one on my list is This Woven Kingdom by Tahara Mafi. And why am I excited to read it? Because it looks awesome. That's pretty much it. It looks like it's going to be more epic fantasy, which I'm very excited about because her other series, the Shatter Me series, is dystopian. And that one she has such a unique writing style, so it'll be really interesting to see how that translates to like a slightly different genre. Plus there's like a throne looking thing on the cover, and I'm just all about that, you know? So yeah, I'm excited.
Did you read her other series? I think it was middle grade, but it was like more magic based.
I don't know anything about that. I know that she has the Shatter Me, and then there's like I thought it was like women's fiction or like young adult something.
She does have that, kind of but thing. Then she has so she has like a more contemporary ones. But then she has a I think I'm thinking of the right person, like the right books that I can picture in my head right now. But it's like a magic, I think it's middle grade, but it's like a magic realism maybe.
Are you talking about?
I will have to look it up.
What? Okay, I thought she only had those 2 series. I'm like,
now we have to do some research.
To look it up, guys.
I just pulled out my phone so I could look it up.
Yeah. I think I'm thinking of the right one. It's like Winterwood, or it's called something like that. It has like really intricate covers.
I love middle grade covers, so middle grade covers are like the best.
It's true. They do have really
like the illustrated ones.
Here we
They're
go.
just so pretty.
Furthermore.
I
have never seen that before. I had no idea she wrote anything else.
Okay, it is middle grade, right?
It does look like it's middle grade. Yeah, ages 9 to 12.
Okay.
So I guess it makes sense that I didn't know.
Age group. Maybe I should force her to read them.
And then I think the second book in the series is Witchwood.
Witchwood. Okay, yeah.
Or I'm not really sure the order of them.
No, I think you're correct. I think it's like the reddish cover is the first one. I'm just picturing them in my head.
Well, there you go. If you're just like a huge fan of Tahara Mafi, then you've got some new books to read if you also like middle grade.
Yeah.
Now I want to look them up for my kiddo because she has some more books at home, but she is getting through them really fast.
That's nice. A good kiddo.
Mm-hmm. Yes. She was reading like 1 million books at once, like a couple weeks ago. Well, no, it's like around December. She had so many books. She was rereading all of Kay's books. She was she reread all of Hannah's books. She was, I think she was gonna start on the Scarlet Rose, Valia, but then she got distracted by shiny new objects. But yeah, she's like, I just think it's so cute that she loves some of your guys' books. Like,
that is cute.
So cute. Yeah, she's like she's a super fan to Kay and Hanna, like so obsessed.
I love that.
She's so obsessed. Oh yeah, and she started reading The Court of Bitter Thorn, but then that was another one. She was like, she opened up all these books, but then she got distracted by her shiny object books. But
I was gonna ask because I knew she'd read Camdaria, but I was wondering.
Yeah, she's read Camdaria like twice now, but yeah, and then she was gonna start on the other one.
I do have to say, if you get to the end of Camdaria, it is kind of written in a way that it like makes you want to read it again with a different perspective.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
That makes sense.
I do have lots of fans who have reread that series.
That's cute. All right, well, Tess, talk about your book.
So my first book on the list is Dreams Lie Beneath by Rebecca Ross. I got that in, I think I got it in December, but I just haven't read it yet. I've been reading a little bit slow the past month or so. But yeah, I mean, I honestly don't know a ton of what it's about. I'm like so bad about when I read blurbs, they go in one ear and out the other. Like the majority of the reason why I want to read this is just because a lot of you guys love it and have said so many good things about it. I know you like it, Valia.
I was like, you mean Hanna I made really everybody read it?
Yeah. Like, so just like you guys hyping it up.
So
I do. And then I just kind of like, I don't know. My attention does not absorb it whatsoever. I'll usually, like, it kind of helps me decide if I want to read a book, but usually it'll be like more the cover or people talking about it. But a lot of times I'll read the blurb after I've already started the book because it helps me connect to the plot in a different way. Like I can't comprehend the importance of the blurb until I've started reading it, and then then I have context. And for some reason, I want to know the blurb after I
That's interesting.
I know the characters.
Funny.
Isn't that weird? Like I can't like understand the blurb at all until I've like read it. Like sometimes it'll be intriguing enough that it'll make me buy it, but like I don't really understand what I just read.
Yeah.
It just sold me. It was a marketing thing. So I don't know. I don't know if a lot of other readers are like that or if that's just like a me thing. But anyway, so yeah, I like can't even tell you what it's about, even though I've read the blurb. But just the fact that, well, the cover is super pretty.
It's
but,
gorgeous.
Yeah, just because of you guys talking about how good it is, I'm super excited to read it.
Yeah, I'm like a little pusher for that book.
Yeah, you and Hanna both are like, you have to read it.
I know, I made Hanna read it. I was like, Hanna. And she loved it. And I was like, yes, I feel validated.
I love it.
Yeah. So, Rose, what about you? What's your first book on your list?
Okay, it was so hard for me to come up with a list of 5. So, like Kay, I have several more than just 5. But let me start with the first one, Cemetery Boys.
Ooh, yeah.
By Aiden Thomas. So I was reading a thread somewhere on Facebook in some group about Latinx authors and their books, which of course spoke to me because as a Hispanic writer with Hispanic characters, I was like, ooh, let's look at this list. And so many people were talking about Cemetery Boys, and I looked up the blurb and I was like blown away because it's about a kid. Well, not a kid. He's a high school kid. His family has all these like magical abilities, like paranormal, like they can talk to spirits and they can connect with spirits and they can help spirits cross over, which is kind of the same thing.
That's like perfect for you, Rose.
Yes, I know. It was like kind of the same vibe with my characters because they can see ghosts and they can talk to ghosts and they can help people like cross over. And in this book, Cemetery Boys, he is trying to prove himself to his family because he doesn't really have the same type of powers as they do. So
a little bit Encanto vibes here.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yes. So he's trying to prove himself, and he has a cousin who's been murdered, and he is trying to find his cousin's ghost so he can help his cousin cross over. But instead, he ends up connecting with a ghost from his school that was like the resident bad boy. And they kind of hated each other, I think. That's kind of what I'm getting from the blurb. And as this kid is trying to work with this ghost to find his cousin, he starts developing feelings for this ghost.
Oh.
So it's a romance a little bit.
Yes.
And the ghost romance.
Yes. And it was like, it just gave me all the chills when I read the blurb. And I was like, okay, that book right there is at the top of my list.
Okay, you guys, I need to ask a question because how does a ghost romance end? I don't understand how this is a thing because they're
well,
dead,
we never
right?
got another sequel to Julie and the Phantom, so we'll never know because they canceled that show.
Well, I'll let you know when I read this book because how does that even work? I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess you fall in love, but then you have to say goodbye because the person is a ghost. And
not like a happy book.
I was trying to think of like the last, because I remember like there was a whole young adult fiction fad when everybody was writing ghost romance, right?
Yeah.
Like everybody, whatever.
Oh,
and
yeah?
I remember reading a bunch of them, and I feel like it's always something like they either get a second chance at life or some magical thing happens. Like it doesn't end sad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
Because
Okay,
they're
So
like,
I'm
that's good
thinking
to
of
know.
that one movie with Reese Witherspoon where she's not actually dead, right? She's
Right.
like in a coma. You guys know what movie I'm talking about?
Just Like Heaven.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
I don't
No, I've never
I
seen
don't know that
this.
movie.
Spoiler.
Are you sure it's Reese Witherspoon? I thought it was that
No,
other girl.
it's Reese
I don't
Witherspoon.
know.
She's
Who knows?
correct.
This is me we're talking about. Do I know the names
Yeah,
of the
it's-
actors? Go on. I think it is.
It's Reese Witherspoon and Mark Ruffalo, right? Isn't that
Alright.
she's the grumpy one
Get
in
ready.
there?
I'm going to look it up, guys.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
doing lots of research
Yeah,
today.
I know.
This is the research
This episode's gonna be so long.
As you're looking that up, do you guys remember the Goosebumps movie with
Yes.
Jack Black?
Oh, yeah, that one has
No.
a ghost romance, too.
Yes, the
Does
kid
it?
falls in love with the girl next door.
But
then
also,
he-
that's a huge spoiler that you just gave away, because in Just Like Heaven, it's not really a spoiler, but you just spoiled Goosebumps.
Okay, it's old enough.
It's been out forever. Come on.
I know.
It's been out for a long time, but guess what? I spoil things all the time on this show. Everyone just needs to know that about me. So.
Also,
if it's a
if you
Rose
guys can
episode,
hear...
you just get spoiled.
Yeah, that's true. Also, if you can hear like thumping, it's Rose because she talks with her hands, so she keeps hitting her table all the time.
I'm so sorry.
No,
stop.
it's okay. You can't. You talk with your hands.
Right.
I can't
Guys,
help myself.
Update. Valia was right. No surprise there. It's Mark Ruffalo and Reese Witherspoon in Just Like Heaven.
Yeah,
That's
I
so
love
funny.
that
I've never heard
movie.
of this movie.
What?
Okay, Tess, I can't believe. Although
How
like
old is it?
Oh, it's old.
It's I don't know.
like
I feel like it came out when I was in
2000
college-ish.
5, 6 maybe. I don't know, but Tess, you
I
keep
never pay
like
attention
missing
to anything.
these
It's
rom-coms
2005.
that I just. Ha! It was right.
Oh my gosh,
Valia
that's
knows
hilarious.
everything.
So it's a
I'm so good at
rom-com
this.
about a ghost, but it's not going to make me sad like Last Christmas. Is that what
No.
you're saying?
No, it's good. It has
you're
a
gonna
happy
love
ending.
it.
It's very
Okay,
good.
okay.
The
Okay,
romance.
we'll see if I get to
It's
watch
actually
that one
really
then.
good. I don't even watch
Okay.
rom-coms. This is like probably one of the last rom-coms I've watched.
That you watched. That's funny. It's really cute because that was like Mark Ruffalo's prime rom-com time because he was in 13 going on 30 as well.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know he was
There was-
in that one.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
so
yeah.
good in
And
that.
13 going 30.
Yeah.
He's so grumpy in it. But and there
love
was
it.
another one. He's grumpy in Just Like Heaven, which is hilarious. But there was
He's
another
grumpy in
movie he
Hulk
was.
as the Hulk.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
He's just grumpy.
He's like a little grumpy. No, anyway, it's so good, Tess. You have to watch it because you're gonna love
Okay.
it. It's
Okay,
so
fine.
good. Okay. Oh yeah. So my turn. Sorry.
Sidetrack there.
Who's next?
We have so many tangents in this episode. It's great. So the first book I'm going to mention is Hunted by Km Shea. And so this is a wolf urban fantasy young adult series, and she's kind of fast releasing it. I think the first 2 books are out already. Like I think it's every couple of months. And it's wolf shifters and a hunter who lives among them. And I've heard so many amazing things about it. Actually, I had one of my readers, I recommended it to one of my readers because I was like, she asked me for like a wolf shifter romance. And I was like, well, this one has been recommended to me. And she goes, oh, I'll check it out because she just trusts me. And I did not lead her astray because she loved it.
Oh, nice.
So I was like, I'm
Nice.
so happy. I'm sorry if it wasn't good. But no, she absolutely loved it. So I'm very excited. I just started it. It's supposed to have a really sweet romance, which for wolf shifters, like it's usually super spicy and like angsty. So I'm like really excited to see the angsty and sweet together.
Yeah.
Ah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, so I'm like really excited to read it, and Km Shea is great at that. So that's like the first book, and I already started it. So
Nice.
Yay,
the
me.
cover is so pretty.
yeah, she did. I really like those covers.
Yeah, they're
And-
beautiful.
Anything with wolf
Well,
shifters,
I have to
really.
say, you
guys
said
know.
Hunted, and I got all excited because last year I read a book called Hunted, but it's by Megan
Oh.
Spooner, the one that I read.
That's the one I thought it
yeah.
was going to be too.
Yeah.
That's like
I know, I
but
actually-
that's the book that came to mind.
That's funny. I actually read Hunted as an arc,
Oh,
like before it
cool.
came out. So I remember really liking it. So did you like it?
I loved it. Although,
Okay.
I mean, it's the Beauty and the Beast retelling. I'm
Yeah.
like, why wouldn't I like
You
Of
can't
course
go
I'm gonna
wrong.
love
I mean,
it.
you can actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Okay, well, yeah. So, Kay, next book for you.
Oh, yeah.
As you take a sip of water.
Sorry.
It's okay.
The next book on my list was Dreams Lie Beneath by Rebecca Ross.
yes!
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
The same one Tess said, and also for the same reason, because
Here for
Valia
it.
told me that I had to read it. She actually, to be fair, she didn't just tell me I had to read it. I was complaining about certain things being in the books that I was reading. Everybody has different preferences, so I'm not going to say, but just let's say that, like, I was getting really frustrated that all the books I was reading had these same things that I hated. I'm just like, I'm sick of reading this. And she's like, well, you have to read this one. It's so perfect. And it's not like that. So, yes, I'm very excited, although
I'm very
haven't
excited.
started it yet. But it's on my
I'm
list.
so excited. Yes. I can't wait. We should just have like a book club once you guys all read it so we
Good
can
idea.
discuss it.
Everyone go
Like-
buy Dreams Lie Beneath right now because it's coming up
It
on
is
the podcast.
on my list now.
It's on your list, yes.
It's
Okay.
totally on my list now because I had no idea.
How did you miss the hype, Rose?
You haven't been on a podcast with me when I like talk about it religiously.
I've been missing out.
I know. Every time I talk about it, I'm like, Becca, I'm sorry. I'm not obsessed with you. Just your book. It's fine.
I'm pretty sure she's okay if you're obsessed with her.
I know she's okay with it.
I feel like most authors would be okay with that.
Yes, I know. But it's still, I'm just like, I'm sorry, but I'm a little pusher. Anyway, Tess.
Oh, my turn, yeah. So number 2 on here is House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J. Maas. It's the second book in the Crescent City series, and I'm hesitantly excited about it. I really liked, well, I'll explain. So I really liked the first one, which I always call Crescent City. It's House of something else, but like I just call it Crescent City, and this one is Crescent City Part 2 or whatever. Because it's because the title is like really big, Crescent City, but that's the series name, so it throws me off. So I just like always call it Crescent City. But it's House of Earth and Blood is the first one. But I really liked it, and it's probably my favorite Sarah J. Maas book. And I thought it had just like a really heartwarming it was like heartwarming meets like raunchy characters. It was interesting. It was like if you like to watch shows like Sex and the City or like Emily in Paris, like where the characters are kind of like morally gray and a little raunchy, but also a heartwarming, like there's like a heartwarming friendship thing, and there's a romance and a bit of a murder mystery. It had really cool elements that I just wasn't expecting in that book. And it's also kind of like it's a secondary world urban fantasy setting. So I really just fell in love with this combination.
World,
it was,
but it feels modern, which I feel like is always an interesting combination. Yeah.
Yes, that's the like, so there's like, there's fae, there's a bunch of cool creatures, but they also have like cell phones. So it was just really interesting. I wasn't really expecting that.
Wow.
From Sarah J. Maas. And I will admit the first 100 pages I almost wanted to quit, and that's pretty common with a lot of people because it's really slow, really info dumpy, really heavy world building. But then after I got past the 100 pages and like the romance was amping up, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to like speed read through this super long book. Anyway, so that's my feelings about book 1. I'm really excited about book 2 because I loved book 1. The reason I'm hesitantly excited is that I've heard that she's and this is rumor, I don't know, I've just heard that it's going to be like really amping up in the spice level, which is fine. I do like spicy books, but I also really thought that Crescent City or whatever, book 1, was appropriately spicy. It was like at like my top range of where I'm like, I'm not the biggest fan of male POV sexy scenes, let's just say. Like they're fine. I can enjoy them, but they're not my favorite. I don't tend to like the male perspective in that because it's a little much for me. And that you get a lot in the Silver Flames or whatever. And I was like, okay, I mean, I still like it. And I do like spice, but I don't love it the way other people do. I don't love the high end of spice. I like it. I don't love it. So thinking that the next book is going to be like a higher focus on like the steamy spice, I'm like, okay, it might be great. It might be where I'm like, okay, this is just getting a little much for me. But I'm still really excited because I thought that the story was really good for the first one. So hesitantly excited. I love it. People are like, there's going to be more spice in this one. I can't wait. I'm like, I don't know if I'm excited about that yet. We'll see. Once I read it, we'll see how much I enjoy how it's presented.
Okay. I haven't read that book because...
Me either.
I have not read it either, by the way. I just happen to know.
I know that you will not.
Well, no, but I did not accept, like, everything that you just described about it. The cover does not present any of that.
Well,
like, I thought it was a high fantasy.
It is. It's in the adult section.
Cover trends. Like, it's an adult cover,
I
so
guess.
it fits those cover trends.
I don't know. It's just I did not think it had any modern world anything in it.
Yeah,
so.
It's pretty cool. I love the world building was once I got past info dumping, the world building was really cool. And I remember at the time it made me really want to write a book like that. And then I didn't. I kept in my like Victorian-ish era after that, but I did at the time. I was like, "Oh, this is awesome! I really want to write a book in like a fae realm on a secondary world, but that it's like modern. There's cell phones and there's like." Blah blah blah, but
that's like more what I would write.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. Yeah, totally.
That's interesting. Exactly. Okay. Anyway, moving on. No, I'm just kidding. Rose.
Okay, so kind of like tacking on to this whole Sarah J. Maas theme. I want to read, and I have not read any of these books. Throne of Glass.
Okay.
I haven't read that series at all, but I've always wanted to. And it's like, why haven't I done it? I don't know. Just all of a sudden, time just goes by so fast. So I want to read Throne of Glass. That's a huge series. I don't know if I'm going to read like the whole series, but for sure I want to read that because I'm super intrigued by this whole, because she's an assassin, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She's an assassin who's charged with finding another assassin, right? I read the
No.
I'm like,
She's an assassin. There's a competition to become what? Like the king's
assassin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they become the king's assassin. Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay, so the blurb was really weird because it said, I think, that she was in jail or imprisoned.
Yeah.
And then she was brought out
For the
compete
competition.
For the competition, but not so she could be the assassin for the prince, but somebody else?
No,
I don't even know.
There's like a bunch of people that each bring their opponent,
The competitor.
Yeah, a competitor to the competition. So the prince chooses her, but a bunch of other
Right.
people have like their own people, and then the competitors all have to compete against each other to become the winner assassin for the king.
Yeah.
Okay, see, that just sounds so cool. Why haven't I read this, y'all? I'm going to read it.
I will say that as the book progresses in the series, it takes on a new life of its own. Like this one's very like I wasn't expecting it because I've heard so much about this series, seen so much fan art, heard so much about the characters, and then I got to that book, which I did read the prequel or the novella first, Assassin's Blade, and then I got to this one. It's like a competition, like almost Hunger Games. It was like the Hunger Games meets like Game of Thrones. I was like not expecting that, but then all the other ones takes on a much more classic like epic fantasy with like war and political intrigue. So I will say the first Throne of Glass is like so different, and as you progress it does change and take on a life of its
and
own.
wasn't she like 16 when she started the series? I mean, I don't know that she was 16 when it first got published, but she was really young when she started writing it. So she
Oh really? Sarah J. Maas
Yeah,
was?
so it's kind of a cool
I had no
thing.
idea.
You can see her writing. I'm not trying to say that it's bad in the first book. It's not bad, but it's just like it's cool to see how it gains more depth and stuff throughout the series.
Yeah, the first one also very much comes across as like a commercial book. Like this is a book. It has a competition. It's like it's a really strong like debut book that you'd expect.
Yeah.
And you can kind of see like the shift in like theme, and they get really long. They get very complicated. That's why I started this last year, and I'm only on Tower of Dawn. I'm tandem reading Tower of Dawn with my brain's
Empire of
fried, but
Storms.
whatever. Yes, Empire of Storms. And I have to keep taking breaks because they're both so long. It's like 1,200 words or 1,200 pages. And I'm like, every 200 pages or whatever, I'm like, okay, I need to read something else. Just because my attention span like does not like sticking with one thing like that very long.
Yeah, that's
but it's good.
super
I really
long.
like it. But I also have to be in a very specific mood. I need to be in the mood for like pretty epic world building that's like, I wouldn't say it's slow. It's not slow. It's fast-paced, but it's just really complex.
Yeah.
And I have to be in the mood for that. And sometimes I just want to read, like, a fantasy romance where people are just kissing and, like...
Touching hands.
yeah, like that kind of thing.
Yes.
Stares from across the room.
Yeah.
All the gazing.
So speaking of something
so much
completely
gazing.
unrelated, no. Yes. No, so my book that I would read next is Anatomy, a Love Story by Dana Schwartz. And I just actually recently discovered this book, and
Oh, it's the one with the heart dress on the cover, right?
yes.
Okay, I have seen that before.
What genre
so-
is that even? Because
It's like gothic mystery, historical mystery, but it has like gothic feels, and I think it has magic in it. But it's like it's centered around a young woman who wants to be a surgeon when like women are not allowed to be surgeons, and so she gets like booted from this program or something like that, and then she like needs to practice and better her skills, so she needs corpses. So she finds a dude that basically digs up corpses for a living. This is a very bad description of this.
Wow.
But then like bodies begin disappearing out of the cemetery, I think, and so there's like a fever that's like killing people. It's like a whole
What?
thing, and so it's like a historical fiction and has like horror.
but
and
does
has
it have
romance.
fantasy elements, or is it just historical?
I think it has fantasy elements. Like,
so
I
maybe
think
like a
they're
paranormal historical fantasy,
maybe because like the way the guy is introduced is as a resurrection man, and so I can't tell if
that
it's
does sound magic.
like a magic or if it's just like a nicer word for a dude who digs up horses. Like, you know. But one of my friends like it thinks it's right up my alley, and then another person also recommended it to me.
Yeah, that
so
does
like,
sound
okay,
like a
it's
very
like my
Valia
brand.
book.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah. I gotta say, I've seen that cover all over, and I had no idea it was a dress until you said that just now. I thought it was just a heart. I was like, that's such a weird cover. So now I'm like looking at it, I'm like, oh, it is a dress. I didn't realize that.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. Yeah, so we'll see. I really want to read it and see like exactly what kind of a mesh of a genre it is, because it's like kind of all over the place. But also
it does seem like a mashup.
I will read it. Yeah. Anyway, Kay, you're next.
All right, third book on my list is Spin the Dawn by Elizabeth Lim. So last year, Six Crimson Cranes was probably like my number one read for the year, okay? Besides maybe Lore by Alexandra Bracken. They're tied, okay? They're both my favorites. They were just like my favorites. And Six Crimson Cranes. It was so good. It was so cute. It was just like the best. Anyway, it was just exactly what I needed at that point in time, I think. But yeah, so now of course I have to go read everything else that Elizabeth Lim has written because she's the one who wrote Six Crimson Cranes. So I'm going to read her previous series, starting with Spin the Dawn. I'm really excited.
Nice.
Yeah, I know Hanna loves it because it's like a seamstress.
Yeah.
And we talked about it, I think, on the podcast. Like, I have the book. I just haven't read it, but she loves it. So I think you'll
I do really like the covers, too. I think it's they have so much movement. That's the thing about them that's, like, so striking. It's just, like, you can feel the movement within the cover, so.
So beautifully put. All right, Tess.
Okay, so third on my mind is Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Sue Lynn Tan. And this one is a retelling of the Chinese fairy tale or the Chinese story of the moon goddess Chang'e. And I want to read it. First of all, as soon as I saw the cover, I was like, I have to read that. So I've always been obsessed with like Asian style artwork, whether it's like Japanese art or Korean art. I've been exposed to that since I was little, and so that has been like, I just love it. It's just, there's something so nostalgic about that really classic style of like botanical art. And I think it was maybe it was the UK cover I saw first that had more of the botanicals. But anyways, it was so gorgeous. And I was like, I just want that because it's so pretty. I just want to put it on my wall. But then I read that Moon Goddess. Hello.
Right.
Of course, I want to read a book about the moon goddess. And so, yeah, it sounds really cool. Again, I read the blurb, but I'm like, all I remember was moon goddess, and it's like a retelling of the story of Chang'e, who is the moon goddess. But yeah, I believe that's what it was. Me so and blurbs. Good. I'm like, let me pick up a few words from it and maybe I'll remember what it was, but mostly the cover.
It's like key marketing words. That's all you remember.
I saw Moon Goddess. That was really good.
I mean, there you go. It's sold, right? So I'm trying to remember the cover for it, and I don't think
it's the blue one. It's like blue and
there's like it's another one of those ones that has a lot of movement and there's florals. I love the UK cover though, has a lot more of like pink, so it has like some like cherry blossom looking artwork, and that one's probably my favorite cover for that.
It's not the same really cover pretty. That I sent to you guys.
No,
right?
That's a different one, and don't talk about it because it's next on my list.
Okay, sorry. I was like, wait.
It has a very similar style.
Okay, so my next one is Falling Kingdoms by Morgan Rhodes. And that cover, do you guys remember that cover? I mean, it's
I love that series. That whole series.
I've heard a lot about it lately, and I'm like, what is this? Why is everyone talking about this? I actually hadn't heard about it before.
I know, I told you about it.
It has the coolest cover ever. So it's like this cloaked figure, and there's like all this movement, and the person is holding like a dagger, and it's just so cool. So that is definitely on my list. The character is a rebel who finds himself leading a revolution. That's in the blurb. Is that right, Valia?
I think
basically.
So. I mean,
she's like, am I right this time about it?
So long since I read it.
Like, look,
so.
just because I've read it doesn't mean I know anything.
Yeah, okay. No, but that series is so good.
Yes.
So.
I've heard so many great things about it. And so when I'm finished with my Fae series, I'm going to write epic fantasy. And a lot of these vibes are going to be, kind of speak to me with what I want to write. And I really love the fact or the idea of being a reluctant. He finds himself leading a revolution, but he doesn't really want to. Anyway, I think that's cool. It's a cool concept. Don't say anything, Valia.
I'm not saying anything, except that's hilarious because my next book on my list is a Morgan Rhodes book.
Oh.
No way.
Yeah.
No, that is funny.
Yeah, it's her new one, Echoes and Empires. Echoes and Empires.
That cover
yeah.
is so pretty.
Yeah, so I am so curious because it's like fantasy and sci-fi blended together. There's like a socialite and a robbery that's gone wrong, and then she has like a magical something in her that she needs extracted because like magic is outlawed or something like that, and she somehow gets it like in her body, I think, and so she has to like team up with a criminal to
You're saying so many of my keywords.
I know, right?
Oh my gosh.
Yes, this sounds like
Socialite, robbery, outlaw, criminal, all of those. Those are all my like, okay, what's this about? I need to read it.
Yep, I went for the keywords on this one too because that's what I was like. And I love Morgan's writing style because I loved Fallen Kingdom series. So when I saw that she was coming out with a new fantasy sci-fi book, I was like, wait a minute, what is this? And the cover is very like striking to me. It's very dark, but it has like that gold girl on it and like the title and everything like that. And I don't know, it just really was different for me too. And I was like, I didn't even know it was a Morgan Rhodes book when I first saw the cover. And then I was like, oh, okay, cool. I'm reading that. So I think it just came out in January. So
okay, I'm looking at that cover and wow.
It's really cool.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we were talking about this, how covers have been doing this whole like one color or two color tone thing lately, and that one has a very striking black and gold look to it that I really like.
I feel like the black and gold thing too has been really popular.
It's
it's growing in
popularity.
popularity.
It's becoming it is. It's creeping up in the world.
But like I like that her face is gold. Like everything is gold. You know what I mean? This like it's
amazing.
Just kind of like a one tone, not one tone, but like one color. Anyway, side note. But I thought that was really funny that you're reading a Morgan Rhodes book too, or it's on your list. Anyway, okay.
Okay. Next on my list. Okay. It's Cursed by Marissa Meyer. They just had the cover reveal. It's so cool.
Oh, I like the new cover.
Yeah.
Or not, whatever.
The second,
cover.
yeah. So this is the second book in her series. The first book is Gilded. And it's funny because Gilded, I don't want to give anything away, but let's just say it was darker than I expected from Marissa Meyer. Marissa Meyer's just one of my favorite authors ever, as we all know, right? Who does not know this by now? So she just kind of has a certain style that I'm used to by now, and I guess her villain books are a little bit darker, but this one's not a villain book, and it was pretty dark, and I was a little bit like, I didn't want it to be that dark. You know what I mean? It was a little much for me, some of the things that happened. But let's be honest, it's Marissa Meyer, and I'm still really excited for the second book. So that's how I feel about that. And the cover is very cool. So
the cover is
I like
so
that one
cool.
even better
incredible.
than the first one. I like it a lot.
Same. Yeah. I'm so shocked. Anyway, Tess.
You're shocked.
Book 4 on my list is The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea by Axie O. This one is a Korean folktale retelling of the tale of Shim Chong. And in the blurb, it was compared to Spirited Away. So I'm like, okay, there's a bunch of my like retelling. Again, it had that really pretty artwork on the cover, and there's the UK one is so pretty too. That's the one, Valia, that you're talking about. You showed us. I actually really like the UK and the US cover. Maybe the UK one a little more. I don't know. They're both so pretty. I am so mad when like the UK covers are prettier than the US ones, because then I just have to try harder to go get that one and like get it from like a different shop or whatever. But anyways, that one has like, if you put Spirited Away in like a comparator, I'm like, okay, yeah, that's like one of my favorite Studio Ghibli movies. But I also have her book XOXO, which I haven't read yet, so I'll probably, I definitely will read that one as well. Which one will I read first? I don't know, but I'm definitely reading this one this year because I want to. That's all. Just want to.
I love it.
Do we need any other reason besides that?
Yeah.
I saw it and I wanted it, so it's happening.
Rose.
So my next book is Prince of Thorns by Mark Lawrence. And I'm reading I'm excited to read all of these stories as I prepare for my new series. So this is about a kid. He's not a kid. This is about a guy
you keep
whose
calling
parents...
them kids. I know. They're all kids to you. You're like, it's child. I can like, yeah. If you can be my child, you are a kid.
Exactly. I'm like dating myself. So this guy whose parents were killed when he was little. And he's like kind of this outcast now. And so his whole vibe is trying to reclaim his name and his family castle. And in the blurb it says, treachery and dark magic await him in the castle. And I'm like, what? Sign me up. So that is like totally my vibe. I'm excited about that. And the cover is amazing. So that's
always
on my list, number 4. Yes.
Yeah, I love it. I don't think I've actually read that series, but I have it. So let me know how it is.
Okay. I'm excited.
Yeah. Okay, so book number 4 for me is Flame and Crystal Thorns by Km Moody.
Oh, nice.
So I wasn't gonna like put this on the list because I was like, is that gonna be awkward if I talk about it? But anyway, no. I love Kay's Fae series so much, and like the fact that she's writing more Fae is like makes me so happy.
Yay!
So I just like am so excited, and also like everything that you've been talking about it and sharing, like it just makes me really happy to read it. So I was like, it's just the first book that came to my mind when I was like, get to this part of the list, So yeah, that's basically all I'm going to say about that, because you guys should go read her other series to prepare for this.
Oh, thank you, Valia. You're so sweet.
You're welcome.
Okay, and I just got an illustration from my illustrator yesterday. You won't be able to see it when this episode comes out, but like, dude, it's so good. I'm so excited to have like an illustration of my characters. It's so beautiful. Okay.
See, that's like, that just makes me want to read it so much more, because like you're so excited about all the little things about it, and I love that. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that, because go read her other Fae series so you can be prepared for this one, because they're together. And Rose has her hand up. How can I help you?
Okay. Can I go next?
Sure.
Okay, sorry, Tess. Hold on. I have to go next because...
Well, Kay and Tess, actually.
Oh, wait. Okay. Can I go next anyway?
Yeah, go next.
Yes, just go.
Okay, so my number 5 book, because I have read almost all of the queens, right? I've read Hanna, I've read Valia, Tess, I've read yours, I've read Joanna, Kristen, Clary. I've read everybody. Well, I'm missing a few. So that's like my thing, to read everybody. So my number 5 book is Court of Bitter Thorns.
Oh, nice.
Yes, by our very own Km Moody.
Yeah.
And I am so excited because I know that everyone loves this series. And I'm like, holy cred. I need to get on this.
Everybody
And-
loves it. I mean, there's no book that everybody loves. But.
Oh, no. Everybody loves it. And she's, my fellow queen. So, boom, that's number 5 for me.
You guys are so
Nice.
I love
Making me
it.
feel all warm and fuzzy inside.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to go next. Because
Together.
Yes.
That's fair.
Okay, so Rose and I are just reading a lot of the same authors this year. It's fine.
Yeah.
We are. It's so funny.
That's awesome. But not
I
the
love
same
it.
books, interestingly.
I know.
It's true.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, well, the next one on my list is The Gilded Ones by Demina Forna. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Demina Forna. Anyway,
I can't tell you.
I am so excited. Literally, actually, for some reason, I don't even know how this happened because I never read the blurbs, but I read the blurb for that book before I even saw the cover, I think. Just basically, as soon as I saw anything about this book, I was like, yes, this is a book I have to read. So last year, I spent the whole year reading. This was my big goal for the year, to read all of the books that I owned, the physical books that I owned. So I've had this book on my list for so long, but because I haven't bought it, I'm like, I can't read it yet. I can't read it yet. Anyway, but I finally did it. I finally read, although I've bought more books since then, but I read all the physical books I owned. But this book, I've been waiting, and I'm so excited. It's just I don't even remember anything about it. I try to forget because I just like going into the book blind. And I love the cover, by the way. The cover is
really pretty.
Yes,
so pretty.
it's gorgeous.
It's all shimmery. I don't know how to explain it, but it's so beautiful. So yeah, also what was with all the books that had gild or gilded or some gilded wolves, the gilded ones.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
there's a lot
Gilded.
of
That's what's the
gilded.
thing, right?
Everything's gold this year, so or a
It's
couple
so
years ago.
in.
So I'm very excited about that book.
Awesome. Tess.
Okay, so the final book on my list is to, at the very least, read the first book in the Stalking Jack the Ripper series called Stalking Jack the Ripper. The main reason I really want to read, so I really liked Kingdom of the Wicked and Kingdom of the Curse, which is by the person who does Stalking Jack the Ripper, which is Carrie Maniscalco. I have to look at it when I'm saying it because I just want to pronounce it so different. So first of all, I loved those books. Those are really good. I'm also very excited about the next book in that series. But this one has always sounded like it would be right up my alley because it's set in Victorian era London. There's some mystery vibes. But the reason I feel like it's really timely this year is because the next book that I'm writing in my Entangled with Fae series, which I won't be working on until the end of the year, I've planning on it having those kind of vibes. So the mystery and a team up with the guy and the girl, they got to solve a problem because of blah, 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 that kind of thing. And my world is kind of a little bit inspired by the Victorian era. So it's that just sounds like that's the inspiration fuel that I need for my creativity. So yeah, I want to read at least the first book in that series, if not all of them. And I have them all. They're on my shelf, but man, I'm taking so long to get to all these books, but I'm thinking by mid-year I'll get to that one.
Nice. Very nice. My final book, I guess final book, but I have so many, is Hotel Magnifique. Is that how you say it?
Oh,
By Emily J. Taylor. I love that cover, first of all. That black and purple is just the most best thing ever. But it's basically a girl that applies to be staff on a traveling enchanted hotel. And so it has a mystery and magic, and it's that night circus / carnival feel to it. I think that's how they're promoting it. And it just sounds so good. And I believe it's a debut, if I remember correctly. So it's I don't think there's she's written anything else. So I'm really excited because I always like those debuts where it's I don't know, a very, it's weird, a very high standard to reach, I guess. If the book sounds so good and it's a debut, I'm really curious to read it, kind of thing. Because I'm okay, I want to know, what's happening here. So, yeah, I'm really excited to read it, and I'm so obsessed with that cover. It's so pretty.
It is really pretty.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I have to say about that.
Cool.
Yeah. So those are the books that we want to read.
And you're welcome
There are others.
to all listeners for just increasing the size of your TBR.
Yes.
We hope.
100%. Yeah, that's I'm curious to see how many we get through this year, because you guys might get through yours, but I always struggle when I make lists. So
me too.
We shall see. But yeah, this was fun. I like doing these, so we'll probably do more of these type of episodes where we like just a list of books with like different themes to them, maybe. Just to share like our excitement for them. I don't know. I'll think about it. We'll plan something out. If you guys like this episode, if you enjoyed hearing our excitement about these books, let us know so that we know to
do more
of these episodes. Yeah, for sure. Thank you. Like whatever my brain is doing here. But yeah, let us know what's on top of your TBR for this year, for sure. Make sure to follow us on Reading Queens Pod on Instagram, and then give us a follow on your favorite podcast platform before you go. And also leave a star or a rating or a review, something. Give us a thumbs up. I don't know.
Just
show us some love.
Just tell us how awesome we are and just how we're the best. Just kidding.
Yes, that. And then tell your friends and your family members and everybody you know, people you meet on the street to listen to this podcast. But yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and wrap it up here, and that is all I have to say. So bye.
Bye.